Okay, welcome to the Flux Dev Meeting. It's June 17th.
Hey, welcome everyone. So we are on our last mile with the Flux 2.9 release, and I'm going to paste this here. We have a umbrella issue to track everything down, and yeah, um, we would do our best to release it on 30 of June, if not 31. At most, we don't want to go over these dates, so it's kind of settled. There are many, many changes coming into Flux. Not going to talk over them now. After the release, maybe. Mateus, you want to bring up something?
Mm,
Any
one
blockers,
second.
anything?
Just finished chewing. Mm. No blockers. We just released power controllers today. Solid controller, customized controller, image reflector controller, image automation controller. Customized controller and image automation controller were blocking two PRs in one each in Flux 2. I just pushed a commit to the update PR that has a small breakage from source controller 1.9, which has a type change for the verify field for Helm chart because we added a feature in OCI repository and we had to split the type for Helm chart, which is not getting the feature. This is a tiny breaking change in the API Go API package, not in the functionality. So just push the commit to fix this. Once the CI gets green, we're finally unblocked to merge these two PRs, one from DeepT, one from Heated. And the
Okay.
blockers are gone. Oh, we have that feature in Source Watcher,
Yeah.
which we should fast forward if we can, because it's a foundation for a feature in Flux Operator, which is very interesting, right? So we should probably try to get it in. Um, the plan was to
Yeah.
finish all the controllers this week, but it's totally okay to extend only Source Watcher next week,
Right.
right? No
Yeah.
problem.
And the change is not. I mean, it's not touching anything critical. It's an addition to what we already have, and it's quite isolated. If you don't use the template generator, you are not going to be impacted by anything. So I think we should definitely wait and try to get this merged. Also, it's not a lot of code. It's
Yeah. Maybe my plan was to leave it for last on Friday, and maybe depending on the contributors' time, we can even make it. Maybe this is merged before Friday, and we can release source watcher on Friday. Tomorrow, notification controller and helm controller.
right. And then, so next week I'm off, while you can still do things in the CLI, get those blockers solved, and see what other pull requests are in flight in the CLI, because there are some fixes, there are some small things that maybe they need a rebase, maybe they need a little bit of refactoring. So if they are not responsive, just take over. If it's a small fix, um, better to take over and fix it than to delay it another 3 months and so on. I'm also I also think we need to analyze all the changes in the APIs and make sure we are not missing stuff in the CLI. Like, for example, the SSH stuff, right? We Hide added signing with SSH key to Bootstrap. Do we need it anywhere else when we generate the Git repo YAML?
Yeah, I'll take a look. A thing he
I'm not
did.
sure if something changed. We didn't change the API, right? For SSH signing. It's only we decide from the secret, right? If it's what type of
there's a
key,
feud. There,
there is a
yeah, remember earlier today I told you that we had a blocker from image automation controller in Hita's PR. It's exactly because of a new field. And the PR is already covering that, like the create image automation resource command is supporting that field, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why it blocks, and the PR is Bootstrap for all the Bootstrap providers and the command for creating the resource. I guess that covers everything, right?
Yeah, let me look a little bit. What exactly changed in the Git repository docs? SSH, because I don't remember seeing. Yeah, there is no API change in source controller because we don't have we don't have a provider.
The
We
API
have
change is not a field, is a suffix .ssh pub for
right,
verification.
right. Which that one is in the secret, which is
Yeah,
not an API surface field.
yeah.
Yeah,
Source controller is just that.
right.
But image automation has a field.
Okay, only image automation is the one that actually changed the API. Okay,
Yeah, because it has the
right.
key
Now
type
you need to say, yeah, of course.
because it defaults to GPG and you can choose SSH.
Let me see. Okay, so signing key has a new type now. This is the field.
Yep,
And type, I'm guessing, defaults to
GPG.
OpenPGP. Yeah. Oh, okay, so I have updated the issue, marked the 4 controllers that we released by now. Oh, so there is another thing. Before we can do a release, we need to do the benchmark. So, but the benchmark is not benchmark is source controller, customize, and Helm. So next
So we
week,
could already do it, right? Oh no, we
no,
miss
because
Helm.
you don't
We
have
could do it
we miss
tomorrow.
Helm.
Yeah, could do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we could at least. I don't want to. So let's open the pull request for the benchmark tomorrow. after we release Helm controller, but no, it does not work. It needs no, we first need to merge the controller update into Flux 2
Cool.
after we release Helm controller. So we have the Helm controller version, CRD and everything in the Flux 2 repo. Then in the benchmark repo, we copy that directory, open a pull request, and we leave it in draft. And we don't merge it until we have everything. But we actually see the benchmarks, because once you open a pull request, all the benchmarks are running, and we can detect any regression in the 3 controllers that we test. So yeah, we could.
It will be my first time opening a PR for the benchmark.
Yeah, you can look how I did it with others. It's not complicated.
Cool.
It's a lot of YAML, of course. Like it's a fork of the whole distribution inside benchmark, because you can't just use or you can use a remote overlay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But
If you want, I
this will
can release, I can hold the Flux 2 PR right now, release Helm controller, update this PR with Helm controller, merge the 5 controllers today, and we're ready tomorrow. I didn't have any other high priority things today besides unblocking the CLI PRs, which is about done. Unless you want to hold Helm controller.
so Helm controller is now on that patch version, right? 4.1 of Helm, which has a bug that does not affect us.
Yep. Correct.
And they will fix it by the time we release, and then we'll be behind.
Yeah, the amount of plus ones in that issue.
Yeah, everybody's affected. You can't use Helm
major
anymore.
regression. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Everybody that uses Helm now with the wait flag is done.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do another thing. Let's release Helm controller so we can run our benchmarks and figure out, because the benchmark, if it shows a major regression, we have to put everything on hold and fix it.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be delaying benchmark anymore.
Right.
Not wait for another Helm patch release. So what we can do is we release as soon as possible Helm controller with
I'll do
what we
now.
have now. Open the pull request in benchmark, run all the benchmark, analyze the benchmarks. And if, let's say, next week at some point, they release a patch of Helm, we can do also a patch of Helm controller that's including 2.9. We did before this stuff, right? We release the controllers, then we figure out, we can't, we have a bug, we fix it, and then we delay a little bit 2.9. But this time we don't need to delay it, because we started early and we still have a week and 2 days to go.
Yeah, and even if they ship a patch next week or in the one after the release week, we're very likely doing some patches after 2.9 comes out. So.
Yeah. My concern is that they will not only patch the watcher, maybe they'll patch some other bug that we care about, right? Okay, we are not impacted by the watcher. We got lucky this time, but you never know. So that's why I wanted to delay as much as possible Helm controller, but it doesn't make sense because there are major changes in there, and if we don't run the benchmark, we are not sure what we are shipping.
Right.
Okay, so release Helm controller today, run the benchmark, then tomorrow you do the other controllers. We leave source watcher last, wait for that pull request. If nothing moves for the pull request until the middle of next week, you take over and you fix it. There aren't many things like copy pasting the code from Flux schema with the right validation, because we know for sure that it uses upstream packages. I've end-to-end tested it on tons of stuff in schema. So that code it will always validate for labels, and we should use the same. It also has a validation for name. Because now there is another issue, right? You extract from a file path, some directories, and with those directories end up as label
Labels.
values. Okay,
Label
so
values.
for this, we need to apply for every single regex extract that value. We do a to lower first, because everything has to be to lower in the end, and then we run the validation that verifies label values, which is different from label keys.
Yeah, I actually posted a comment asking
Right,
you
right.
specifically content.is label value, right?
Yeah, because there are different restrictions and different validation schema for what a label value can have, what a label key can have. So
Cool.
first we do label value validation for all the extracted things. If that fails, stall, error out, don't reconcile anymore. Because you can only recover from this by changing the source. You need to rename your file system, your directories. But if this check has passed, does not mean that the artifact will not fail, will not get rejected. Because you can use these directory names, let's say they are okay, to lower, and they pass validation. You can combine them into the artifact name, and they can go over the size. Or when you combine them in the artifact name, you put a dot at the beginning. Dot something, and that will break the whole, right? You can't have like DNS names inside custom resource names. So we need, after we do this, after we apply the rendering and we know the name of each artifact, then we need to use the other validation that I have in Flux schema. For namespace for metadata.name, there is another validation there custom for this, and it checks the name, because the name can be longer than a label value, but has other restrictions. Like it can't contain, I don't know, stars or all sorts of things. And if the artifact name fails, again, we stall the same stuff. So for every validation, we stall because you need to change the source. And issue events that should reach notification controller. Right?
Yeah, I guess at this point we already send every error to notification controller, and
Okay.
only success and drift.
Only there we do
Success when
some
there's
filtering.
drift, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so returning error should bubble everything up to notification controller, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's
It's a build error, right? Probably.
yeah,
falls on the-
yeah. Right. We even have a type for this build error. Yeah, so it should be super easy to do this and make sure the end-to-end tests are covering all these failures, all these failure modes, right? Invalid label value, name over the length of a custom resource name, or with some text in there, some chart that is not
Do we need
accepted.
fine-grained reasons for this, or just like build failed reason is good enough with the error message? I think build failed reason should be enough. No, we are not very specific about these things in source controller, for example.
Yeah, but in source control, we don't do templating. Here, we need to help the user figure out what's wrong. So if we fail the validation of values for the label, in the error, we should actually, because this is also black magic, right? People have no idea what's happening because you don't set the labels anywhere. These labels are dynamically composed and set by the controller.
Right.
So the error will be about labels. They look in their artifact generator, what label? Or I set
Right.
common data. It's even more confusing. If you set common data and set a label there, you think those labels are wrong.
Right.
Right.
Good point.
So
Yeah.
I think we should actually embed in the error the extract expression from the spec. Say something. Values extracted from
The path pattern, right?
the path pattern, values extracted from this path pattern are invalid. Reason, label, whatever, and that's where you put the actual error from the validator. Right? So we point people
Right.
like the extraction is a
maybe
problem.
maybe one reason for all these path pattern related errors.
No, it can be a build error, but the error message should contain the actual path that they have set in the spec.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
see
that-
it in the error, it's very right. It's what you need.
Yeah, we can make the error message very good, but I was wondering specifically about the reason that we set in like in the condition, for example. The ready condition will have a reason, right? So build reason, build failure reason is enough. But
I
we
think so.
make
Yeah.
the error messages very good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
And it matches what customized controller is doing. For example, in customized controller, right? You can do a bunch of stuff with patches that
Yeah,
could break
many
the
things can
build.
go wrong. Yeah.
Right? You are not saying, oh, patch apply error or, whatever image patch error. We just say build error and we give it the whole context, right? So that's enough. We don't need to go deep into invent other reasons.
Yeah.
But the error message has to contain the path, so it's very obvious from where these strings are coming from, right? Because you don't see the strings anywhere. You'll see only them in the error. If let's say you have a directory called .config, right? And you map .config as the artifact in the artifact name and in the artifact value for the label, right? The label will definitely fail. You can't have a label value that starts with a dot because that has to be a DNS.
The name won't, but we don't want to allow it, right? So
You can't apply it anyway because now we add all these fields as labels.
yeah.
So it will not get up. It will not end up failing at the name. It will not get there as the validation.
Yeah, it's
The
because
first
the same
validation
value
is
will
label.
be the name and the label, right?
Yeah. So, and we do first the validation for the label. So the label will error out, the label validation will error out. And it will say .config is not a valid whatever, right? So you see this error, .config. Where is .config coming from? It's from the repo. It's nothing in the spec that has .config in there. So we really need to say like, it comes from this path expression. That's how you ended up with and imagine if you have like you generate hundreds of artifacts, someone adds a something to your path that matches later on, let's say. You create an artifact generator, works great. Then someone comes in the repo, adds a directory to the path that's is being matched by the expression and adds a directory dot something. Everything will break, right? And it will be very hard to debug if you are not super explicit about what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, but we really need to consider like for 2.10 a CLI command because
For building.
yeah, like copy is highly complex, right? Because it has ignored, it has a bunch of stuff. Now we are adding even more complexity to even more magic to what artifact generator can do, right? It can create from a Git repo hundreds of artifacts for every environment, for every tenant.
From the name of
just
the
from
CRD, in 2 years from now, it will be impossible to reason about it.
Yeah. So we really need the Flux build artifact generator or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Adrian, you have any news?
Yeah, hello.
Hey,
I got a message from the controller runtime guy, or one of the persons that is managing the repo, and looks like there is a Go client beta version, so they wanted to have this change in as soon as possible. So I'm just asking a couple of questions regarding, let's say, breaking changes, because they mentioned that they allow breaking changes between
Basically, if they want
versions.
to do the same thing they forced you to do in the upstream, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, that they might claim to create a new interface and so on, but I'm trying to see if I can challenge that, because create a new interface is so tiring because you have to overcome things here and there. But at least I guess that you might be already aware of it, Stefan, but that the Kubernetes change coming on the
yeah, but
Go client.
what I'm hoping is, can this make it into 37 or not?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the
Yeah, it
target.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
But it's
upstream,
not enough for us, right? Is this enough? If they release 37 in 3 weeks from now, will unblock everything for us?
Yeah, I believe so, but I think it's in August. It's not in 3 weeks.
Oh, it's in
yeah.
August.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is Flux 2.10.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I
it was
have
Flux to the 10, but okay. I look at the months, the calendar. I was
also
kind of
our
panicking. I thought next month is the release, and I was like, oh damn, do we have everything that we need? But it's in August, so there is still time to.
also we
Yeah.
are planning Flux 2.10 to 4 months from now, 4.5 months from now, right?
Yeah, but if we don't get it, I mean, it's super important to get it in 37, because it's a lot of work in Flux itself. Like there are
Mhm.
pull requests everywhere. This is a major change. It bumps the events API to V1. This should also
Mm.
trigger the V1 of provider and alert. So it's like, I don't want to say notification control alerting is GA while we have eventing on beta, our own
Yeah.
eventing,
Yeah.
right? And now the thing is, we have to have eventing GA, but can we make eventing GA if we depend on an API that Kubernetes can delete tomorrow because it's deprecated? No, right? So now that we have finally unblocked the Kubernetes side, we now have to work everywhere and upgrade everything to V1.
Yeah.
Basically touches
Yeah.
every single controller,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
all of
the
them.
timeline now is 37 landing, and then controller runtime landing after that. Because
Yeah.
now the PR is in controller runtime, which is from where we get the recorder.
Right.
Yeah. I've been working behind the scenes in all the controllers. I have a couple of them remaining, but at least I have kind of the
Yeah,
uh,
I've seen it. I've seen it.
PR
I've seen
placeholders.
it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but we need to do some end-to-end testing once we upgrade everything and we see it running with the Kubernetes and control runtime API, and make sure we are not breaking
Yeah.
eventing on older versions.
Hmm.
Right? We have these jobs with kind. We can set the kind version, right? We set it, I don't know, to 30, Kubernetes 130. We run it and it should work because the V1 events V1 was promoted long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? So we should, if we migrate to V1 and everything V1, we shouldn't break anyone. Even if you didn't upgrade Kubernetes in the last year, it should still definitely work,
Yeah.
right? And it's quite easy to prove it if we write some AI generated bash script,
A bit
right?
hacky.
That does, I don't know, changes something in a customization, then tails the notification controller logs or something like that, and we actually see the event there.
Yeah.
So you can see like end to end everywhere. because yes, we have unit tests everywhere, and we test eventing, but we should definitely build a end-to-end stuff and see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Cool.
mean, now my focus is to get this change in the controller runtime. So I have
Yeah.
something, but I need to work on that. Yeah, but once it's
Right.
there,
And
I mean, yeah.
control runtime has to wait for 137, right? Or not?
Yes.
I believe so, but what they did, which is quite smart, they used the Go client beta version, so they are able to have changes as long as they
Mhm.
go. I guess they might wait, but it could be quite, I mean, quite seamless once
Yeah,
they
it's
upgrade.
good for us to get the PR in early, but we have to
Yeah,
wait anyway.
yeah,
Yeah. I know they are flipping to beta as soon as the beta is released, because
yeah,
they are also interested in catching breaking changes in API machinery, client go and so on that they depend
exactly.
on. And in the past there were many cases like this. So we also do in our benchmark repo. I also build from beta releases and release candidates to test Flux
Hmm.
before Kubernetes does a final release, because we had issues in the past a couple of years ago where they completely broke server-side apply,
Hmm.
and yeah, it terrorized Flux completely. So from that moment on, I decided to test with beta and release candidates, so we don't get into this situation. We can tell them, hey, something is broken before the final release.
Yeah, yeah, and the good thing about it is like the controller runtime has already migrated to events v1. The problem was that they didn't have the
Annotation.
exactly.
Yeah.
The notation interface. Yeah, it was quite new for them. I mean, I was just replying back in some other issue about, yeah, it's available but in a different interface. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, if we get this in, it's so we can focus on releasing notification controller GA and come with a major improvement to the hotel integration, right?
Yep.
Because this will enable the discovery that we want, everything that we've discussed months ago and
Yeah.
before we found this blocker.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mateus, I think we should actually get this into the roadmap for 2.10. I don't think, I think we should actually tell people, yes, this is what will happen.
Mhm.
And hopefully it will. We have a long time till 2.10. But Adrian, is there an issue about hotel and another issue about events, right? We have two different issues to link them in the roadmap. I think events
Yeah.
is in Flux too.
Yes. And the other one is on Flux 2 as well. Let me share that with you. The first one that I
Yes.
shared is about events, and the second is about external tracing correlation, because I can rename it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to completely change this because was the initial design.
Yeah.
We changed it a lot.
Right. So please update this 5510,
Yeah. Yeah, well.
and we add them both to the roadmap. Mateus, can you make a note?
Yep. To add these two to roadmap.
Yes,
Cool.
for 2.10. And also in the roadmap, let's see what the roadmap says. But now that we know for sure we are on block, we can actually set the major goal of the release milestone.
The major goal is the RFC about authentication, right?
2 point. Okay, so 2.10 already has this. The primary goal of this milestone is to make the general availability release of the Flux alerting APIs. Okay. So you need
But they're
to,
changed to the RFC, right?
we add the RFC, we don't change anything. Alerting GA is there. Because you don't swap one with another. You can say, and RFC, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so because we pushed alerting to 2.0, we can't get rid of all the beta APIs in this year. We'll need to do it next year. Because if we make GA in 2.10 alerting, then we can deprecate V1 beta 3 of alert and provider. Then we can remove it in Q2 next year to finally have everything on GA. I'm also considering maybe we can discuss in another meeting like what's the plan for getting artifact generator to GA. Right. I mean, there are so many people using it, like breaking copy is not an option, and we'll never do it anyway. And if we just add features on top, there is no reason to keep it on V1 beta. We can make it V1 in Q1 next year.
When was it released?
Let's see.
It's 2.2 now, so it was released in 2.6, the first release of the year. Or no, 2.6 was the last one of last year.
Let me look.
Wait, no, it's 2.1 into 8. So it's 2.0 into 7. Yeah, it was released in 2.7, the first minor of this year.
No, the first minor of this year was 2.8.
No, it was 2.7. Or wait,
What? Come on, man. I look at the roadmap.
yep, in February, right? So it was the last release of last year, 2.7.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So it will
guess like
1
it
year
makes,
old, basically.
yeah, GA with 1 year is good enough for me.
Yeah.
A bit more actually. Enough.
Yeah. Okay, have any news for us?
No, not today. We're preparing for a hackathon at Silva, and once that comes together, I'll probably have some news.
Cool, cool. Okay, I think we can stop here and go back to Flux releasing. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks, Kingdom, for waking up so early again. I'll
So
see you
long.
in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Good day.